Thank you so much for being on the show. Truly appreciate it.
Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate it a lot, man.
So I first heard of you through the Kentucky Music Showcase, and I had plans to go do video interviews with a bunch of artists that day, but due to Mother Nature, pretty much half of the show got canceled, and I'm not sure. Did you get a chance to perform there before the rain came in?
Yeah, I was third to last person to perform on stage B, I think.
Ah, okay. Yeah, the rain must have came in right around 5. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I went on about four. So
So, but I got a chance to hear your songs, and I played some of them on the air before I started talking. Definitely did the records, man.
that's awesome. I appreciate that, man.
Let's talk about you. So I noticed on your Facebook page it has Team CTPeezy. CTPeezy, that's your stage name, and why is the name of the crew that you're saying?
Oh no, I guess it's a little confusing the way
Oh,
it's written on there.
yeah.
I've got like I change stage names a little too frequently. I think I stopped using Prodigy, which was a nickname one of my older brothers gave me, and people shortened it to CTPeezy, so I went by that for a while, and now I'm like Rocket, but I kept the CTPeezy on the page, so any existing fans knew who I was.
Oh, okay, I got you. I got you. So,
Yeah.
so thank you
Uh,
for the clarification for sure. Uh,
yeah, I'm not great at social media. I guess I should work on it.
so, what made you decide to become a hip hop artist? How did it all start off for you?
Well, older brothers, an older sister, a younger sister, so having instruments in the house was kind of a no-go, but I always wanted to make music. And, I grew up in California, so it was always something I was interested in. I heard a lot of hip-hop and punk music, and I noticed you do it all with your vocals. So that's something I could practice in my room without disturbing my family. And I was real big on it for a long time, and then I moved out to Kentucky, which is a whole different ballgame of a place. And it was just I was with out in the country when I was in high school and middle school. Had a lot of alone time to practice on it, and I just researched it a lot and fell in love with it. And it's what I've been doing since I was 11.
So you basically went from one time zone to another, very young. What was it like making that transition from Pacific Standard Time to Eastern Standard Time?
It was awful. I had just turned 10 years old when we moved out here, and I just remember hating it for the longest time. Like I wasn't willing to accept it for a long time, which made it harder for me to adjust to it. Sleep schedules all thrown off. The humidity out here is nuts compared to California, and just the whole environment. I used to be able to walk everywhere, even as a kid, and out here, I mean, it's miles to everything.
Man, I feel sorry, man. About now, I lived in Kentucky for probably my life. Um, it could be come across as a dry state, and unfortunately, we have the snow. You ain't get that snow in California. I tell you, much. And it's just I remember I had like an ice storm. I lived in Lexington. There was an ice storm years ago, and I was out of school for like a week. I basically couldn't even get out the house because it was just so cold, and it was just the streets were all icy and whatnot. It was terrible.
Yeah. When I was, I think, 14, that happened around here. We got put in emergency, went like a week without electricity. That was rough.
Oh yeah, man. Just I guess fortunately, we haven't had too much of it since. But if you come to Kentucky, be ready for December through February, March, 'cause it's brutal. I'm just,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
consider
rough out here.
yeah. I mean, there's some good things about it. I mean, you got the horses and the basketball and stuff like, and you got
Oh yeah, the people here are so much
yeah,
nicer too.
yeah. So it's that southern hospitality. So, and 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 the southern accent. You know, I'm just gonna put it out there. Woman, southern accent. Yeah,
Yeah.
very
That's like
sat.
the good thing about this.
Yes, very satisfying. So who do you consider like your bigger influences musically?
Well, I was born in '93, so by the time I already got into music, it was like Seth and Eminem up, and so of course I got him. My older brother introduced me to him. Um, I listened to basically all Aftermath, old and new. I like Slaughterhouse. I like 50 Cent. All that good stuff. Ludacris. Probably my favorite Southern rapper. And I'm getting into the ASAP Mob, all of them right now. Ferg and Rocky. And a lot of rock music too, though. Listen to like Blink-182 and Good Charlotte, Eve Six, all that crazy stuff right there. The energetic, upbeat with depressing lyrics. Kind of.
That time, and it feels like a lot of bands aren't that active. It feels for me as a fan back in the day. Um, and it's on the hip hop side. It feels like it's hard to listen to 107.9 to beat these days because it's pretty much the same thing. That's why
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards more the local scene because a lot of people in the local scene gives me something different, and they hungry. They hungry to get heard and they connect their fans more than the quote unquote mainstream artists. So
Right. It's all fabricated now.
yes, and I want to thank a hip hop artist in particular for stating the obvious. That would be Fat Joe, who's had the biggest hit of 2016 all the way up. He even acknowledged hip hop could be a little over exaggerated. You know,
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of people will talk about something and they're not really about that life. Uh, so I feel like I get you want to talk your story, talk about where you came from, how you came about, how you overcome adversity, but at least say what you've been through, not what you think that people put you through or whatever. You know,
Right. Right.
people from the heart and what 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 you all about. I mean, that's just my 2 cents in that regard. Um,
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I try, like, in my lyrics, I like to be funny, and but I like to make it, I'm lying, like I throw it in there, or I make it sound really sarcastic, because I'm not about a lot of stuff. That's just not who I am. I wasn't raised that way. I grew up in the suburbs of California, and then moved out to the country. And, I've never been about some crazy life, but I'm influenced by it. So anytime I say something, it's pretty obvious that I'm just messing around. But I think the tracks I sent you were more just bars than they were any of my storytelling tracks. And when I get down to it, I'm more of an emotional lyricist. But it just really depends on what I'm writing about at the time.
that's cool, and I can deal with that. I can deal with some sarcasm. If people already know about you beforehand and you're just joking around, being clever with it, I'm cool with that. That just makes things intriguing. It just seems like too many times it's on, and I hear people spit, and it makes you like question people, like you really did this or whatever, you know. And let's face it, internet is a lot more bigger than it was 15, 20 years ago. People can really dig deep into your stuff, and people find out you're lying, you're gonna get exposed.
Yeah,
So
I feel like Rick.
yeah, I mean that's I guess what's odd about that is that he actually used to be a PO. He was
Yeah,
he was literally an officer, and he even after 50 Cent put that out there, he he had no choice but to acknowledge it. But I guess that haven't really hurt him that much. But I get the last thing you want is someone to put your business out there before you do, and especially
Exactly.
if you find yourself in a feud with someone like 50 Cent, because say what you want about his previous work and not selling the records that he used to, but he's a ruthless dude. If he really hates your guts, he's coming after you.
Yeah, he gets petty and he doesn't even care. Like he knows he's petty. It doesn't bother him one bit.
He's basically Richard Sherman before people knew who Richard Sherman was.
Yeah.
Just yeah, he'll be. I mean, in hip hop, you definitely gotta have confidence. You definitely gotta show that, hey, like I bit for Will. Now, when you collaborate with artists or when you do shows with, so you get the sense sometimes that people can come across as a little too competitive. Like I get, it's all about love and respect and whatnot, but you still gotta have that competitive edge. Like, do you get the sense? Can you actually tell whether someone is like cool with you, legit with you, and then there's those who try to come across as a bit competitive?
I think with the artists that I've met and the ones that I interact with regularly, it's usually pretty easy to tell because I've always just had people like, oh, you sound good, but I'm not into this, or I think you need to work on this, and then they'll be like, but you should check out my stuff because I feel like in those areas I'm better, and that stuff never offends me. Like, I know rappers around here that get offended real easily when somebody tries to point out some flaws, but I think it's real easy to tell the difference between somebody that's just being a hater and somebody that's actually trying to encourage you to move forward.
Yeah, that's the whole criticism when it comes to hip hop. That's a slippery. I guess depending on who you talk to and how people can take that criticism, and people should sometimes look at it and maybe he or she is on to something. Maybe that could make me a better artist or whatever. Uh, but
I've I've got a friend who he used to make music, and I always thought he was great. And he asked me to come over and record a verse for a song of his. And I had been like 6 years, but I had friends that rapped, so I didn't really know if I was good or not. I was like 16, 17 years old, and I recorded the same verse for like 6, 7 hours. He told me he wasn't gonna let me stop until it was perfect, and I learned so much in that one day from that guy just being hard on me. I knew he was my friend though, and I was like, all right, he's trying to teach me something. And I learned a lot in that one night, and I appreciate people like because of how much better I got from him telling me what I had to know instead of trying to tell me what I wanted to hear.
that's that's something that people should definitely pay attention to. It's definitely important when you're an artist to be around people that's gonna be good, that's gonna sometimes show you tough love, and that that makes you motivate you want to be stronger. And and sometimes too many times there's too many people that have yes men and fall into anything. And if you fall to that route, then you know your career is gonna suffer because of it.
Right. And like growing up, I grew up after I moved here, I moved to Lebanon, lived Lebanon, Kentucky. So there's not a whole lot of hip hop that I went to school. So they'd be like, "Oh, rap for me," and then I would, and I wouldn't know if I was good or not. They would be like, "Man, it's cool that you do it." So for the first time, I had no way to improve because I had nobody to tell me what I needed to work on, and I had a real hard time figuring it out.
So, um, now obviously you recently performed at the Kentucky Music Showcase. Do you have any other upcoming shows before the end of the year that you'd like to promote?
I wish, I wish I did. I was in talks to do an opening slot, but, so
Uh, keeping if you um social media to go ahead.
All right, yeah, I got a ton of free music, or you can pay for it if you want, but that's all on you. At rocket.bandcamp.com, and then on Twitter, CTPeezy. You can find me on Facebook.com/CTPeezy or Casper the Prodigy. I think both of those come up on mine. I'm still in the process of switching everything over, getting ready. I'm working on an EP right now, and once I get the recordings done, I'm going to work real hard on trying to get the promotions ready for it before I drop it, get all the social media lined up perfectly, get the art and all that together, get contacts and music videos and all that good stuff to go with it.
Well, homie, it was great chatting with you. Thank you so much for taking the time and being on the show. Continued success, and I look forward to hearing more new music from you in the future. Thank you for your time.
Hey, thank you for having me, man.
You have a good night. Have a great weekend.
Hey, you too.